Who do you guys think is the best card in the Space 3 pack? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca, and we're going to go over the Space 3 pack, and I'm going to give an in-depth true review of all of the players that are in the pack. Joey Votto, Julio Rodriguez, this Kevin Biggio, Jim Edmonds, Grayson Rodriguez, Eddie Murray, Tom Henke, as well as Riley Green. We're going to go over all of those players, give them in-depth true reviews, and I'm going to let you know who I would pick for the rare tier, which is the 90 plus, as well as the base tier, which is the 87 plus, pretty much just 87 to 89 overall cards. Let's get into it. Joey Votto. The longtime Cincinnati Reds first baseman, Joey Votto. It's his 2017 veteran card, 92 overall. Obviously, he's left-handed batting, as many of you know. He throws right-handed. He has no secondary position, so you're only getting first base out of him. But he has really, really well-balanced attributes. 99 contact versus righty, 80 contact versus lefty, 85 power versus righty, 86 power versus lefty with 87 vision, 125 discipline, and 118 clutch. So pretty much mid to high 80s across the board or higher, other than his contact versus lefty is 80. He has a tremendous glitchy swing. But he's not the typical first baseman in the sense of he doesn't have a ton of power. However, this card seems to be a pretty decent fielder. As you can see, 75 fielding, 50 arm strength, 71 arm accuracy, 69 reaction. He is very slow at 23 speed, 20 stealing, and 12 base running aggressiveness. So he's not a terrible first baseman. The reaction is a little bit lower than I would like at first base. But 75 fielding with the 69 reaction I think will be average to above average fielding for a typical first baseman in this game. He's not, like I said, that traditional power hitter, but he does have 85 power versus right and 86 power versus lefty, so he will have some pop on his bat for sure. Great contact, though, and like I said, a tremendously glitchy swing. I'm going to give this Joey Votto 4 chewies. I just don't think without the tremendous power numbers and the fact that he is rare tier makes him maybe not as high chewy rate as he would be if he'd be like a free card or something like that. However, I do think he could be very, very suitable at first base, especially if you're a Cincinnati Reds fan. I think 4 chewies is a very fair rating. Julio Rodriguez. The right field prospect for the Seattle Mariners, Julio Rodriguez, 90 overall, right-handed batting, right-handed throwing. Can play left field and center field as well. Pretty decent card when looking at his attributes here. 92 contact versus righty, 84 contact versus lefty, 82 power versus righty, 93 power versus lefty with 69 vision, 70 discipline, and 80 clutch. So another card that has pretty well-balanced attributes for the hitting. The vision, discipline, and clutch are a little bit low, but they're not the most important attributes. I will say that he has great power against lefties, that 93 power, and then the good contact against righties. So it's one of those guys where against righty-on-righty matchups, he's going to hit a little bit better for contact with a little bit less power than the righty-on-lefty. Got a lot of pop, but a little bit less contact. Either way, those numbers are very good. Then he has 81 fielding, 85 arm strength, 83 arm accuracy with 77 reaction, then 62 speed, 30 stealing, and 23 base running aggressiveness. He's definitely a corner outfielder with his speed only at 62 with a 77 reaction. He has good arm strength, though, with an 85. Pretty good number. On top of pretty decent power. I think it's another guy, though, with all the outfielders they have in the game right now. There's a lot of right fielders, a lot of left fielders, but he can definitely play right field with that arm strength. He could possibly even play center field with the 62 speed, with the 77 reaction, but he's not going to cover as much ground as he probably should, so definitely going to have to keep him in the corner outfield positions. I'm going to give him 4.5 chewies. I know for a fact that the Rodriguez has a very, very good swing, assuming it didn't change from last year. If it changed from last year, then by all means, he doesn't have that great of a swing, or I just don't know that. However, he has the same swing he had last year, a swing that generates a lot of fly balls, a lot of line drives, on top of the good power attributes, and I think above average fielding for a right or left fielder. That's what's going to keep us at the 4.5 chewies here. After we go over this Biggio that's about to come up, I'll let you know which one of the 3 cards I pick in the rare tier. Kevin Biggio. On September 17th, 2019, Biggio hit for the cycle while playing for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's still a Blue Jay, of course. He plays second base on their team. He can also play first base, left field, and right field. He's 91 overall, left-handed batting, right-handed throwing, 6'2", 200 pounds. And this guy is going to be a great platoon guy, crushing righties at the 91 contact versus righty, 98 power versus righty. However, against lefties, he's not that great for the lefty-on-lefty matchup. 83 contact versus lefties of 59 power. So that's not great, to be honest. And 58 vision, 109 discipline, and 94 clutch. So he could be a great platoon guy maybe at second base. I don't know who you would really platoon him with right now at second base. I guess maybe you could platoon him with Alomar. I mean, I don't know if I want Alomar as only one side of a hitter, though. So I'm not sure who you would platoon this Biggio with at this point. However, that lefty-on-lefty matchup with that low power is not too appealing to me personally. For the 74 fielding then, 78 arm strength, 78 arm accuracy, 76 reaction, 76 speed, 77 stealing, and 55 base running aggressiveness are pretty decent numbers, especially for a second baseman, or if you got to put him in the outfield. Even at first base, those are actually pretty good numbers that make him a relatively fast first baseman. But I do think hitting-wise, he's still a platoon guy, even with decent contact for the lefty-on-lefty. Just that lack of power is a little bit concerning to me. I'm going to give him 4 chewies because he does have that average to above average fielding. He has great power and contact versus the righty. He's going to crush righties. His swing's an okay swing. It's not the best swing, but that lefty on lefty is a little bit worrisome for me. That's what's going to hold him back at the 4 chewies here. So in the rare tier for this pack, you can pick Joey Votto, Julio Rodriguez, or Kevin Biggio. I'd probably pick the Julio Rodriguez, to be honest. I think he has good versatility, being able to play all 3 outfield positions, and I think he's the best of the 3 cards. Even though he's the lowest overall at 90, I do think he's the best out of the 3 options. I think Votto, there's so many other first basemen out in the game that I don't think I'd pick Votto in the rare tier. And then the Biggio, he's a good player. If you're a Toronto Blue Jays fan, by all means, pick him up if you want to have him on your team, because this might be the best Biggio card you see all year because he's not playing very well. I think he's batting like 160 or 170 in real life. I have him on my fantasy team. I drafted him pretty early, too, because of the position flexibility. He's not having a good year. So this might be the best Biggio card you see. So if you want him, grab him by all means. I think Julio Rodriguez is the answer in the rare tier, though. Let's move on to the cards that are in the base tier and go over each one of those. Jim Edmonds. This is a pretty common card in MLB The Show, Diamond Dynasty every year. It's the 2001 veteran Jim Edmonds. He plays center field, can play first base, left field, and right field. He's left-handed batting, left-handed throwing, 87 overall, 6'1", 220 pounds. And he's a guy that's pretty much a pure platoon guy in the outfield here. 96 contact versus righty, 58 contact versus lefty, 94 power versus righty, 49 power versus lefty with 57 vision, 106 discipline, 102 clutch. So pretty much he can hit righties, can't hit lefties, plain and simple. That's the summary of his hitting attributes. Then for his fielding, he has 93 fielding, 82 arm strength, 82 arm accuracy, 86 reaction, 61 speed, 18 stealing, and 20 base running aggressiveness. Now, the Edmonds himself used to be one of the best fielders that played center field, period. However, the speed on this card of 61 is not great for center field. I'd probably put him in left field or first base if I had to put him anywhere in the field. You could put him in right field as well because he does have enough arm strength for it. I'm going to give this Edmonds 3.5 chewies. And the reason I'm doing this is because he really does not hit lefties well at all. Even with a good swing and everything, he's just a platoon guy. There's so many other options in the outfield. I'd rather you go with one of the other cards that are in the base tier than this Jim Edmonds. So 3.5 chewies is what I'm going with. Grayson Rodriguez. The Orioles prospect pitcher Grayson Rodriguez is right-handed throwing, left-handed batting. He's a starting pitcher, 87 overall, 6'5", 220 pounds. He throws a sinker, changeup, slider, curveball, and four-seam fastball for his pitch repertoire. Looking at his pitch velocities, he has 95 mile per hour sinker, then 80 changeup, 82 slider, 78 curveball, 96 four-seam fastball. Looking at the pitch control, 85 on the sinker, 80 on the changeup, 75 on the slider, 70 on the curveball, with 82 on the four-seam fastball. The pitch break is going to be 86 sinker, 81 changeup, 91 slider, 76 curveball, and 66 four-seam fastball. Honestly, the pitching attributes as well as the velocity and change of speed that he has on his pitches seem very good to me. I haven't pitched with this Grayson Rodriguez. I'm going based off of what the numbers tell me. And it looks like he has a nasty pitch repertoire, especially being a sinker baller as his primary pitch. You're looking at his attributes, 91 stamina, 84 hits per 9, 86 K per 9, 60 base on balls per 9, 71 home run per 9, 84 pitching clutch, 78 control, 96 velocity, 91 break. Now, the 9s on this card aren't great. The 84 hits per 9, 86 K per 9 is pretty nice. The home runs per 9 doesn't matter online, but offline, 71 isn't the best number. 60 base on balls per 9. Once again, you're controlling the pitch accuracy, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. I will say, with the pitch repertoire he has, On top of the nines not being the best, I'm hoping that the pitch repertoire shines for you guys, and I'm going to give him 4 chewies. I think he could be a very good pitcher if you mix the pitches well, especially, like I said, being a sinker baller as his primary pitch. Having good control of it, it does have good break. I'm just worried about his 9-some, so I think 4 chewies for a base tier card that'll probably end up being under 20,000 stubs is a good rating for this card. Eddie Murray. Many know Eddie Murray as a Baltimore Oriole. However, this is his 1990 veteran Dodgers card. 88 overall, switch hitter, right-handed throwing, plays only first base, 6'2", 225 pounds. Looking at his hitting attributes, he has 99 contact versus righty, 88 contact versus lefty, 72 power versus righty, 60 power versus lefty with 93 vision, 90 discipline, and 96 clutch. So not the best power, especially at first baseman. It's kind of back to that Votto, but a worse version of Votto when it comes to hitting. On top of, he has a goofy stance that I think is super hard to hit with, so I'm not a huge fan of his hitting stance, period. It makes it hard to hit, let alone he doesn't have great power attributes, so that's something to think about. Then he has 74 fielding, 61 arm strength, 64 arm accuracy, 64 reaction, 37 speed, 24 stealing, and 26 base running aggressiveness. Plain and simple, I'm going to give this Eddie Murray 3 chewies. He's not that great of a fielder. It's average for a first baseman, maybe a little bit above average for a first baseman, to be honest. That goofy stance he has hitting on top of not a lot of power. His biggest upside is he's a switch hitter and has good contact, but I'm looking for a power guy at first base. Murray, 3 chewies, that's what I'm going to stick with. I bet you his Orioles card that comes out later will be a lot better card that will probably get a much higher chewy rating. Tom Henke. The closing pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, Tom Henke, 1987 All-Star card. 88 overall, he's right-handed throwing, right-handed batting, 6'5", 215 pounds. And he's a pitcher that only threw 3 pitches. It was a 4-seam fastball, forkball, and slider. For his 4-seam fastball, he throws at 98 miles an hour. He throws a 91-mile-per-hour forkball and an 85-mile-per-hour slider. So the pitch speed differential is a little bit better than his card was last year for his face of the franchise. I think he threw a slider a little bit harder, like in the low 90s, and his forkball was maybe in the high 80s, if I'm not mistaken. I could be a little bit wrong on those numbers. But let's look at his pitch control. 91 4-seam fastball, 81 forkball, then 66 slider. And then for his break, he has 84 4-seam fastball, 89 forkball, and then 69 slider. So he doesn't have the best pitch break. The forkball is great, but the slider's not that great. The break is really not that big. It's 69 overall for the rating. And I will say that the control is pretty bad, so that's something you can think about. He's kind of a 2-pitch pitcher with that 4-seam fastball and forkball as I circle back through everything. Looking at his attributes, he has 28 stamina, 95 hits per 9, 112 K per 9, 70 base on balls per 9, 66 home run per 9, 85 pitching clutch, 79 control, 92 velocity, and 89 break. I do think, though, at this point in the game, this Henke with his motion can be very hard to hit. He has good 9s at 95 hits per 9 and 112 K per 9. The base on balls home runs are not as big or not as important 9s. Only having 2 pitches, though, I think does hurt this card. I'm going to give him 4 chewies because I think that his 9s are pretty good, like the important ones. However, having only 2 pitches, I think really hurts the card. So we'll go with the 4 chewies here, but I do think at this point in the game, he could be a pretty decent relief pitcher for your team. Riley Green. The prospect for the Detroit Tigers, Riley Green, plays right field, can also play left field and center field. He's left-handed batting, left-handed throwing, 87 overall, 6'3", 200 pounds. Looking at his attributes, he has 88 contact versus righty, 91 contact versus lefty, 72 power versus righty, 62 power versus lefty with 68 vision, 84 discipline, and 85 clutch. Then he has 81 fielding, 79 arm strength, 78 arm accuracy, 77 reaction with 67 speed, 38 stealing, and 34 base running aggressiveness. So he's a guy that has good contact, but not great power once again. The vision, discipline, clutch, not as important, but they're not great numbers either. He does have a little bit better fielding than some of the other outfield options we've seen, though, at the 81 fielding, but he's still at the fastest 67 speed. I'm going to give him 3.5 chewies. I think he's a pretty decent card. However, once again, I want some guys with a little bit more power or that a little bit faster are going to be contact guys. He's just kind of an average card, if I have to be honest. And I don't want just average. It doesn't matter how good his swing is. We're going with the 3.5 chewies here for this Riley Green. So looking at the base here, if I had to pick between one of the guys, I'd probably either pick this Grayson Rodriguez or this Tom Henke. I'd probably go with the Tom Henke only because he is a relief pitcher. I think relief pitchers are a little bit harder to find at this point in the game. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Who would you pick for the rare tier? Who would you pick for the base tier? I'd love to hear from you guys. That's going to kind of wrap up the video and the true review of all the cards. I appreciate all the support that you guys always give me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with any of your friends that play MLB The Show 21. You guys have a great day and be safe.